The person who spends their life proving they were worthy of being kept does not realize they are still auditioning. They believe they have moved on. They have not. The child who grows up with an absent father learns early that love is a transaction, not in the way adults use the word, calculated, cold, but in the way children experience it, as a law of nature. If you are good enough, you are kept. If you are not, you are left. The child does not question the law. They question themselves. They become the evidence. Every achievement is another exhibit in the case they are building, not for the world, but for the one person who never showed up to see it. This is not about the father. It is about the child's assumption that they were the variable. That if they had been smarter, funnier, more obedient, more interesting, if they had just been enough, the equation would have balanced. The father's absence is not the wound. The wound is the belief that the absence was earned. That is the ghost in the room. Not the person who left, but the idea that the leaving was a verdict. The mechanism begins in the body before it reaches the mind. The child who waits for a parent who does not come learns to scan for cues. They become hyper-attentive to tone, to mood, to the unspoken rules of approval. They develop an early expertise in reading people, not out of curiosity, but out of necessity. They learn to anticipate needs before they are spoken. They become useful. This is not love. This is survival. The child does not know the difference yet. By adolescence, the pattern solidifies. The child who was once useful becomes indispensable. They are the one who mediates conflict, who remembers birthdays, who smooths over awkward silences. They are the one who does not ask for much in return. They do not ask because they do not believe they are allowed to. The absence of the father is not just a missing person. It is a missing permission. The child grows up believing that their needs are secondary, that their presence is conditional on their performance. They do not realize they are still performing. They believe they are just being good. In adulthood, the pattern spreads. The person who grew up without a father does not just seek approval. They seek proof. They need to know at all times that they are enough. They do not trust their own judgment. They trust outcomes. A promotion is not just a promotion. It is evidence that they were not abandoned because they were lacking. A relationship is not just a relationship. It is a test. Can they be loved without having to earn it? The answer, of course, is no. Because they do not believe love is unconditional. They believe love is a reward for being the right kind of person. And they have spent their life trying to become that person. The intelligent version of this pattern is the most deceptive. The intelligent person does not chase approval in obvious ways. They do not seek praise. They seek mastery. They become experts in their field, not because they love the subject, but because expertise is a form of control. If they know everything, no one can surprise them. If they are the best, no one can leave. They do not realize they are still waiting for the father to notice. They have just transferred the audition to a larger stage. The high achievers version is more visible. They fill their lives with accomplishments. They run marathons, start companies, write books, climb mountains. They do not do these things for the joy of them. They do them to outrun the question. The question is always the same. Am I enough? The answer is always the same. Not yet. They do not realize they are not building a life. They are building a resume for a trial that was dismissed long ago. The person who has read about this pattern is the most dangerous. They have the language for it. They can name it. They can explain it. They can tell you with perfect clarity why they do what they do. They can even tell you how to fix it. But knowing is not the same as changing. The vocabulary becomes another layer of protection. They say they are working on it. They say they are processing. They say they are being mindful. What they are doing is the same thing they have always done. They are not moving. The intelligence is in the service of the stillness. You thought of someone else just now. That is the protection working. You are thinking of a friend, a partner, a colleague, the one who is always proving themselves, always performing, always waiting for the verdict. You are not thinking of yourself. That is the mechanism. It does not let you see it in the mirror. The cost is not in the obvious places. It is not in the failed relationships, though there are many. It is not in the burnout, though that comes too. The cost is in the identity. The person who spends their life proving they were worthy of being kept does not know who they are without the performance. They do not know what they want. They know what they should want. They know what will make them look good. They know what will make them indispensable. They do not know what they actually desire. The desire was trained out of them early. It was replaced with a question they cannot answer. The cost is also in the relationships they attract. They do not choose partners who love them unconditionally. They choose partners who need them. They choose people who are broken in ways that make them useful. They do not realize they are repeating the dynamic. They are still the child, trying to earn love by being indispensable. The partner is still the absent father, never quite there, never quite satisfied. The relationship is not a partnership. It is another audition. The moment of reckoning usually comes late. It comes when they realize that no amount of achievement will answer the question. It comes when they look at their life and see that they have built everything around a person who was never there. It comes when they understand that the father's absence was not about them. It was about the father. That is the hardest truth to accept. The absence was never a verdict. It was a choice, and no amount of performance can change someone else's choice. Awareness rarely dissolves the pattern. Most people who see it do not change. They adjust. They find new ways to perform. They tell themselves they are healing. They tell themselves they are evolving. They are not. They are just becoming more sophisticated in their avoidance. The rare exception is the person who stops performing. They stop trying to prove they were worthy of being kept. They accept that the question was never theirs to answer. They accept that the father's absence was not about them. That is the only way out. But it is not a solution. It is a surrender. And surrender is not something the pattern allows easily. I do not have this pattern. I have only watched it. What I find remarkable is how little knowing that changes anything for the person who does. They can see the mechanism clearly. They can describe it in detail. They can even predict what they will do next. But they still do it. The pattern is not a mistake. It is a protection. It is the only way they know how to be in the world. To let it go would be to let go of the question. And the question is the only thing that makes them feel real. The person who grows up without a father does not just miss a parent. They miss the chance to believe they were enough. They spend their life trying to earn what was never theirs to earn. They do not realize that the father's absence was not a rejection. It was an absence. And no amount of performance can fill an absence. The only thing that can fill it is time. Not time spent proving, time spent living. But that is the one thing the pattern will not allow. Because living requires risk, and risk requires trust. And trust is the one thing the pattern was designed to protect them from. The ghost in the room is not the father. It is the belief that they were the reason he left. That belief is the foundation of everything they build. It is the lens through which they see the world. It is the question they spend their life trying to answer. And the answer is always the same. They were never the variable. The father was. But that is the one truth the pattern cannot accept. Because to accept it would be to accept that they were never in control. And control is the only thing that makes them feel safe. The person who spends their life proving they were worthy of being kept will never feel safe. Because the question is unanswerable. The only way to stop asking it is to stop performing. And the only way to stop performing is to accept that the performance was never for the father. It was always for themselves. It was the only way they knew how to be loved. But love is not earned, it is given. And the person who spends their life trying to earn it will never believe they deserve it. Because the one person whose love should have been unconditional never gave it to them. And they have spent their life trying to prove they were wrong.